Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to do another author spotlight. So this is an author that I have read and loved and read all of their books, and I wanted to kind of highlight them for you and tell you my thoughts on them, when they came out, what my favorite was, all that good stuff. Today we are talking about Stacy Willingham. She is a relatively new author in the past couple of years. Her first debut book came out in 2022, and she's had one a year since then. And she really blew up with her debut because it was a book of the month pick, and it just skyrocketed, and it was fantastic. I have read all three of her books, and I will read any book that she comes out with as well, because all of these were fantastic. So she writes mystery thrillers, and they are usually set in some sort of southern state, and that is a big theme, and the atmosphere is very much a part of the story, which I really, really enjoy because I am from the South. So I can very easily, understand the climate and, the things that are happening around them and the people and all that stuff in her books. I completely understand all that because I've lived through it. I love her writing. I love that she goes to dark places, and she's not afraid to do that. She talks about topics that are hard to talk about, and her characters go through some stuff. Her characters are all pretty morally gray as well. They're not all trustworthy, which is a lot of fun. Okay, we'll start with her debut. This is A Flicker in the Dark. This one came out in 2022, and I got this one from Book of the Month when it came out, and I was very excited for this one. And this is one I actually ended up getting an ARC of as well from the publisher, which was really, really awesome. They sent me this really cool package, and I ended up reading it and fell in love. This was an easy 5-star for me. This one follows a woman who is living with the reality of her father being arrested for being a serial killer. They are from a small town, and so everybody knows everybody, and there's this big dark cloud over her and her family and their house because of what her father has been accused of doing. And she is a psychologist, actually, which is interesting. And she is going through some hard times in her own life at the point in time when this book takes place, dealing with some stuff with her family, dealing with some stuff with her fiance, and just a lot going on for her. Come to find out, there are some things that just start to happen that some young women are going missing, and it's looking a whole lot like what her dad is accused of doing. So is it a copycat? Or was it not her dad? That's what she's trying to figure out, and going through a whole lot of different channels to try to figure things out. She is also an unreliable narrator. That is a thing in here. She's a heavy drinker. So, yeah. And so you spend kind of the whole time questioning pretty much anything and everything. And I loved it. It was fast paced. There were lots of really, really good scenes in here. And the ending just had me, just speeding through. I couldn't turn the pages fast enough. And I absolutely loved it. Okay, her second book, her sophomore book, is All the Dangerous Things. And this one came out in 2023. This was another Book of the Month pick, and I immediately picked it up when I had my Book of the Month subscription. And this one was also 5 stars for me. I loved it. This one is another unreliable narrator, but for a different reason, which I like that. This one is a woman who is mourning the loss of her son. Her son has gone missing, and he was an infant. He was literally taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she was asleep. And she is not handling that very well because there's no leads onto where her son is. It's kind of just presumed that he's probably not alive anymore, but nobody knows because there's literally nothing, no trails leading to what happened to him. All they know is that he was taken. Now, she's unreliable because she's not sleeping. Ever since that happened, she's literally not sleeping. So she is definitely suffering from hallucinations because her mind needs rest, but she's not getting it. And so she doesn't know what's real half the time. And she doesn't know if what she's seeing is actually happening, if what she's hearing was actually things that happened and she just didn't know about it, or she missed it for some reason. So you're seeing her go through that, and she's working with a podcaster to try to figure out what's going on. They're kind of bringing more light to this case because it's kind of, at a standstill and in jeopardy of being closed unsolved. And so this podcaster comes in to help her try to figure out what happened to her son and kind of bring more light to it, bring it more to the public eye so that people can start helping. And I loved it. It was 5 stars. I didn't know where it was going the whole time. I felt so badly for this main character because I can't even imagine, going through something like that. And there's just lots of questions. So I loved it. And then her third book, her most recent release, came out earlier this year in 2024, and that is Only If You're Lucky. And this one is set at a college campus, so we're following college students now. And we are following a girl who has recently lost her best friend. And so she's definitely in a mourning period and definitely not talking about it and having a hard time making connections because of it. And she's also starting college. And she ends up befriending a group of girls who have an interesting reputation, but she falls right in and they get along right away. And they end up all moving in together into this house that is connected to a fraternity house. So the fraternity house is their landlords, basically. And one night, one of the brothers of the fraternity is murdered, and you're trying to figure out why. And then also one of her friends goes missing at the same time. So is it connected? Maybe. You're going back and forth in time as well, kind of like after this happened and then leading up to when it happened. And lots of questions and lots of unreliable narrators in this one as far as who's telling the truth. There's not necessarily, drugs or alcohol involved. It's just who's being truthful and who's hiding things and who, things are starting to come out and you're like, why did you hide that from us? And, what are you hiding? And what is she hiding? And where is she? And we have no idea. And all this stuff. A lot of things from her past come to haunt her as well. So you're learning about those. And I really, really enjoyed this one. This one I gave 4 stars just because it was a little bit of a slower burn, which is fine. But it didn't, really have me on the edge of my seat like the other 2 did. The other 2 definitely had me on the edge of my seat that way. So this one ended up being a 4-star for me, but I loved the atmosphere. And I also loved that the setting is something that she experienced in her college days. She actually did live in a house that was connected to a fraternity house when she was in college. So she pulled a lot of inspiration from her actual situation when she was in college there. And she went to the University of Georgia. So super awesome. Okay. So that is her most recent one. And again, I love this one too. I think of the 3 though, I think definitely A Flicker in the Dark was my favorite. This was like a thriller. The other 2 were more kind of mysteries and you're trying to figure things out. This one was a thriller. Yeah. So, but still, I will read anything this woman writes. Hands down, I won't even question it. She's an auto-buy author for me. And when she has another one come out, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to read it probably right away because that's what I did with all 3 of these. I read them right away. And that is Stacy Willingham in a nutshell. Those are 3 books that she has written, and I have read all 3, and I loved them. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know if you've read any books by Stacy Willingham and which one was your favorite. I would love to know. And I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.